If you're building backend applications by stuffing your routes, database logic, and validation into a single server.js or app.js file, actually, we need to talk. While that works for a tiny school project, it breaks instantly in production. If you hand a codebase like that to a tech recruiter or a senior engineer during an internship technical review, it shows them you do not know how to build software at scale yet. So, it's Godmint and welcome to our episode 1 of our Backend Architecture Zero to Hero series. In this series, we aren't just building an app, we are building an enterprise-grade backend from scratch. No front-end distractions, just pure, clean, secure architectural design. So, before we move on to a single line of code, let's look at our system blueprint. Actually, we are implementing a layered architecture, also widely known as three-tier architecture. To make this incredibly simple to remember, let's think of it like a workflow inside a professional restaurant kitchen. As you can see on the slides, our system maps out into 3 layers. First one is router and the controller. This is your restaurant waiter. The entire job is request handling. They're receiving the incoming HTTP request from the client browser, validate the inputs to make sure the order is correct, and delegate the work straight to the kitchen. They have absolutely zero business logic. They do not know cook the food, they just manage the orders. Then the second one is the service layer. This is our executive head chef. This is where the real magic happens, and it's dedicated entirely to your core business logic. Tasks like password hashing, secure validations, payment processing, and complex calculations, all of this core logic lives exclusively right here. Next one is the repository layer. This is our pantry management and inventory control. This layer is explicitly for data access. It interacts directly with our database to fetch or save raw data records. The pantry clerk doesn't care why the chef needs ingredients or what recipe is being made. It just safely handles data transactions and doesn't care about the why. Now, let's look how data actually travels through the system dynamically by tracking a real-time request lifecycle. Follow the arrow with me horizontally across the screen. Firstly, a user triggers an action from their client browser. That action fires HTTP request straight to our controller layer to immediately validate the incoming body payload. Once the structure is cleared, then the controller makes an internal code call, pass the data down to the service layer to process the business parameters. The service layer executes its rules and fires to clean data query down to the repository layer to fetch the necessary informations. Then finally, the repository executes direct SQL commands to read or write state into our persistent backend database, which in our project will be Postgres. But especially, look at the strict structural rule highlighted right at the bottom. Each layer speaks only to the one directly below it, never skipping. Our controller will never run an SQL query directly, and our database will never communicate directly with the client. Keeping this strict line of command is how you and how we prevent messy, unmanageable codes.